As we embark on a new year, the desire to save and invest wisely is more prominent than ever. On today's episode of Your Wealth, we delve into the topic of ensuring that your money is sufficient for your financial goals, and we talk about how my money can be enough. To help us unpack this and more, we've invited in studio Nyaradzo Chahuruva, a financial educator. Nyaradzo, welcome.
Thank you, Trinus. Thank you.
Awesome. So I think we can start on some of the very basic fundamentals. Can money be enough?
Yeah, that's a powerful question, which needs a powerful response, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so money, it all depends also. So when you say, can money be enough? I believe the money that you have or the money that you have signed up for should be enough for you. So when you are, let's say, when you are coming straight from school and you start off maybe as an intern, the money that you are being given should be enough for what you need. But as you rise up the ranks, you discover that you start needing more things. You start wanting a better lifestyle with more expensive lifestyle. And at that point, we also say the money that you are getting, the money that you're signing up for as you get promoted and as you get up all these levels, and the money that you earn, maybe you have a business, is it enough for you? So that is the question that we'll then be asking, and I would say yes, the money should be enough. There are of course instances where you then discover that maybe no, at this point, even though I'm getting this $100 per month, it's really not enough. Why? Because the cost of living has also gone up, inflation and things like that. At that point, we now start talking of you getting more money. How can you get more money so that the money can be enough? So wow. Yeah, it is not an easy question to just say your money is enough. It can be enough, and if it's not, you should make it enough, and it can be made enough.
Wow, that's so profound. I'm looking forward to some of those insights, but the key thing I got here was your needs determine whether it's enough or not, and they change with time.
Exactly.
So as you continue with your career, get more money.
Exactly.
That's profound. And how can individuals assess their current financial situation to determine if their money is enough for their goals in the new year? You've talked about it, but how can you now assess for yourself?
How can you assess if your money is enough?
Yes.
So I normally love to talk about the 50-30-20 rule, where it's a method of budgeting.
50-20-30.
Yeah, 50-20-30.
I had to use my mental calculator.
Or
That's
50-30-20. It's 100%.
Okay.
So 100%, a pie of 100, you can break it. And 50 should be able to cover your needs. And when you talk of needs, we are talking of things that you cannot do without. So for someone, actually maybe most of us, we cannot do without accommodation. We cannot do without food. So those become your needs, and they should be covered in the 50%. And then we have 30%, where we are saying 30% should be sufficient to cover your wants. And your wants are the things that you can do without. So this is like going out for a movie with a friend. It could be just going out to have some lunch with your friend. You can do without. They are nice to have, but they are not your needs. And then we talk the 20%, which is now the savings, the money you put aside for future needs, for your giving, because we do encourage, and giving is part of wealth creation. It's now 50, 20, 30. So 20 become your wants, and then 30 we are saying let's push more money towards your savings, and we can push more towards debt repayment. Especially if you find yourself in debt, you also want to have some money that you can allocate to your debts. So 50, 30, 20. And as you can see, I didn't talk any amounts. So whatever amount you have, then it should fit. If you have $1,000, 50, 30, 20. If you have $500, 50, 30, 20. So we don't expect to find you living in a $300 house if you only earn $100, right?
Yes,
Correct.
absolutely. That would be impossible. But I think it makes so much sense. And I like the 50 part covering the basics. It also shows you whether you want to get more income or less. It really brings me to another issue that is quite prominent in a lot of situations,
Yeah.
or thoughts about finance, budgeting. What are some effective strategies for budgeting and managing expenses? I'm sure when you do the 50, 20, 30, you then budget, all right? And also ensure enough money for both short-term and long-term goals. What are the strategies for the budgeting?
Yeah, strategies for budgeting. I would be quick to say you need to know the way you spend your money. And sometimes we just spend without necessarily tracking our expenses, right? So I think a good way or a good strategy to start budgeting is analyze your expenses. Maybe have 1 or 2 months where you see how you spend your money. And if you have a bank account and you normally use your bank account, that's a source document to see where is my money going. Maybe you use EcoCash most of the time. Track where is my money going normally. Or if you don't, because we are more of a cash society, so you want to maybe move around with a tiny little book, right? I used so much for transport today, I used so much for lunch, and you'll be so surprised that maybe you are spending a lot of your money on things that are not beneficial, if I can say. So the first thing is to analyze your expenses, see where is your money going. And from there, yes, we do want to make use of the 50, 30, 20 rule, because that's where you want to see, am I fitting into there? You may be surprised that a lot of your money, maybe 70% is covering your needs. Then we have a problem. And there you want to make some adjustments. And that is where, if you struggle, you also may need an advisor, but maybe more of that later. But that is the best way to come up with a budget. And another thing which I feel is very important is that we should avoid what I would call mental budgeting. People tend to just say, I have $100, so I'm going to do this and this in our head. But pen
That's
and
mental
paper.
budgeting.
Mental.
Guilty as charged.
But it's very important. Pen and paper, the basic. Write it down.
So mental budgeting doesn't work.
It doesn't work, because if I come to you tomorrow and I start asking for something, you may forget that, oh, I wanted to put aside $30 for my fuel, and before you know it, you are giving Chipo $20. You're like, oh, but what happened to my, So you just want to make sure it's written down. Pen and paper, that's the best. But of course, there are now different apps and all those things which you can then use for budgeting.
Wow,
I think
that's powerful, and I think just put it on paper, we'll stamp it. And in what ways can people now save money without sacrificing their current lifestyle? Is it possible? What's the issue there?
Again, it's probably the same as the first question. So these are now it depends kind of. So it depends what kind of a lifestyle is it that you want to maintain. There is a lifestyle, like for myself, I work as well. I have a full-time job. And sometimes when I travel, my expenses are covered by my employer. So I know that I don't have fuel to pay for that. Accommodation is taken care of. So already I can call that a lifestyle. And people know that maybe when I travel, then I have to stay in a lodge, I have to stay in a hotel, But let's say I don't have that job anymore, because that's a lifestyle, right, that I have created for myself. And some even travel using air. So airplanes, you're moving. That's a lifestyle. You have set a certain standard. But let's say you're no longer earning what you used to, working where you used to be working, and now you're earning something lower. How can you save when your lifestyle?
When your lifestyle like that, look, we need to go to the break, but I want you to pick it up right from there.
Right.
How can you save? Is your lifestyle fitting into what you have, and can you sacrifice on that? After the break, we'll pick it up from there.
Sure.
Welcome back. This is Your Wealth, where we talk money markets, investments, and today we are right on the dollar talking about personal finance and financial management with your financial educator, Nyaradzo. Nyaradzo, we're talking about lifestyle and if it's possible to sacrifice your lifestyle for savings. Pick it up from where you left it.
Yes. So now you have lost that job that you used to have. It means maybe your lifestyle has gone a little bit there, but you want to maintain it. Can you still be living in a hotel every week? Can you still afford to be flying here and there every now and then? So, and can you afford to save under such circumstances? So you have to sacrifice, because now your lifestyle has also gone down. There are some sacrifices that need to be done. So to answer your question, again, it depends. So you may sacrifice, and it is also possible not to even sacrifice. So I've been at the same level I told you about, and then you are now at a better place. Maybe you've been promoted. At that point, you may actually feel like it's not a sacrifice. You're just putting away your 10%. It's a saving, and
Yes.
life goes on.
So obviously it depends with the lifestyle that you have, and
exactly,
the answer could be here or there. That's very clear, I guess. What are some of the effective strategies or tips for maximizing savings and investments in the current economic climate here in Zimbabwe?
Here in Zimbabwe, our beautiful country.
Yes.
And I will speak from my own experiences because this has worked for me. I am a member of a savings group. So these, and I work for an NGO besides what I do. And there we promote what they call Village Savings and Lending Associations, or VSLAs. From that, we got the concept of savings groups, or in Shona, Mukando. So this is where you don't necessarily have to put your money in the bank. You are a group, so maybe it's a group of 3, 4 or more people, and you have a specific goal that you want. So you probably say, every month we are putting aside $100. So you have your 100, I have my 100, the 100, we put it together, and then we give to someone, so that person has $400. So what that has done is, it has created a saving platform for me, because I have given it away. I don't have that money, but I know that when my turn comes, I have some money that will come to me.
Wow.
So I love savings
It's like
groups.
you were saving because you were
Yes.
putting money, and then
And
the
then
lump
you
sum
get it.
comes to you, and then finish off with other
Exactly. And imagine if it's a group
Interest
of 12. Interest free. If it's a group of 12 people, and you know that once a year I'm going to get something, or whatever it is, then you decide. But that's one way that I've seen work.
people. Wow. And how can people choose between different investment options to maximize their financial growth, this year? New Year things, New Year settings.
New Year things, New Year settings. And I love to talk about when you say different things, because you don't want to throw all your eggs in one basket. So we talk of that diversification, and when you diversify, again, you don't want to just put in the same kind of, like, it's a business, so you end up starting 5 businesses. It's the same model, right? But you want to diversify elsewhere, so you can have some money in the stock market that it's interest income. Then probably you have a small rental property that that's a rental income, and you probably have another job, or whatever, a piece job as we call them, that's another. So what I'm just saying is, you want to put your money in different baskets, especially in our country, again, because Zimbabwe is unique, and we talk of investing in animals, products, farms. You can have a farm, you can keep goats. Imagine you start off with 1 goat in January. By the time you get to December, you have 6 goats. Is
Yes,
that
wow.
not a... Yeah,
That's
or you start with
a
1
good growth
chicken.
of your money in terms of value there.
Exactly. You start with 1 chicken, you start with 5 chickens. Before you know it, you have 100 chickens. So yeah, different investment vehicles that we can use.
Wow, that's interesting. And are there any specific resources or tools that individuals can use to educate themselves about savings, investing this year? New Year things.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And with the advent of internet, there's a whole lot. But the unfortunate thing about internet is you don't know which is the best advice, which one is not the best advice. I myself am a financial educator. Every week I'm sending out articles to people. I have a WhatsApp channel. I also have a WhatsApp not a group, a broadcast where I'm sending out on Facebook, on LinkedIn, sending out information. And there are more people like me who do that. So people can expose themselves to learning. There are courses that people can do. So you can subscribe to all of these different platforms just so you can get an education, because that is what it's even written. I love to quote the scriptures because it's, my people perish for lack of knowledge.
Yes.
And it's the lack of this basic knowledge that you may never get to hear of in school that is very important and can take you a step further in the new year.
Oh, very interesting there. And what are the potential risks associated with investing, and what steps can a person take to mitigate the risk? You know, some people do want to invest, but they're not aware of the risks.
I know, Trinos, and that's it's a pity because the risks are there, and you know how it is: high risks, high return.
Yes.
That's what they say when it comes to investments. But I want to give an example of what I personally have gone through in trying to find investment platforms. We cannot run away from scammers. There are people who just tell you that you can get this and the interest rate is actually too good to be true. And I say to myself, sometimes when it's too good to be true, it really is too good to be true, and
Wow.
you don't have to go that route. So when you want to invest your money, just make sure you understand how the money is going to come back. There are sometimes you're told, okay, this is an investment, you'll get 20% interest at the end of the year, but it's not clear how the money will be generated.
So when it's not clear for you how the money can be generated, already there's a high risk element
already
there.
that's a high risk.
There you have it. So much more to talk about, and minding the risk in terms of investment. After the break, we'll continue. Welcome back. It's Your Wealth, where we talk money markets, investments, and today we're zooming in on financial goals, financial education with Nyaradzo. Nyaradzo, this is the third and final segment. I know there's so much to talk about, but just wrap up on the risk item and then we can move on to next question.
Yeah, no, on risk it was just that if it's too good to be true, it is too good to be true.
Absolutely. I think though that's one of the key pieces of advice, and then people don't get scammed. So how should individuals prioritize their financial goals in the new year, such as paying off debt, saving for retirement, or investing in businesses? How do you prioritize? Perhaps we had the 50, 20, 30, but it's just expatiating a bit more again.
Yeah, actually the 50, 30, 20 is just to help you with your budgeting. Okay. But in terms of prioritization, I think this is now more aligned with your core values. What is it that you what is more important to you? You know, what is it that you treasure? Is it that you love to travel a lot? Is it that you love to have a good life after retirement? What do you call it? After working in retirement, what kind of a life you want to enjoy? So your goals should then be aligned with your core values. Really, that's I think that is how you can prioritize. So for myself and to my readers as well, at the beginning of the year, we encouraged each other to set goals. And how you do that, you put together what I call a vision board. A vision board is where you see yourself. And when we talk of a year, this is really short term. So we can talk of your vision for 2024. What is it that you want to achieve? What is it that is top of your list? You know, and then you put that there. It can just be three main things that you want to set aside. And you can be talking of, okay, I want to get out of debt. At some point, that was like the thing I really wanted to do. It was on top of my list. And everything I did, so every money I was getting, any extra money I was getting was going towards debt repayment. Any extra income that I could get would go towards debt repayment. So that is very important, that you set yourself a vision board. Have it on the wall where you can see it every morning when you wake up. If you pray, you can also pray and say, this is where I want to go. So that is how you set up goals. And of course, goals and priorities. And goals, a goal. When we set these goals, they are normally attached. They have a financial tag, a price tag. So you're like, this goal, for me to achieve it, how much do I need, right? So you may be in debt. It could be maybe a $5,000 debt, and you're like, how on earth am I going to come out of this? And you want to, and you see how much you have, and you see how much you can be contributing at the end of every month or whenever. So you already see, can you afford to pay it off in the first year? Maybe you actually need 3 years to pay it off. And do you have the necessary skill to negotiate with the person who lent you the money? So sometimes that's all you need, to go back on the negotiation table and say, you know what, I'm struggling, but I want to pay it off. Can I have more time? Because you have done the analysis. The time I have, the money I have, it's not sufficient. So debt repayment, it should be a priority for anyone who is in debt, to pay it off. Because imagine how free you become when you're debt free. I was there before, so I know exactly what I'm talking about.
And I can feel that I think anyone would really want to just come out of debt.
Exactly.
Start a new slate. We want to talk about some roles here of financial education. What role does financial education play in helping individuals feel confident about their money being enough?
Financial education, what it does is it opens your mind to understanding. It is that aha kind of experience that you get. Because in our schools, when you look at it, not only in Zimbabwe, but internationally, financial education is not part of the school curriculum. So you will grow and you will start working, you become a director of a company, and there you do not even know how to manage your own personal finances. So financial education, what it does is it opens up this whole new world to say, you know what, I was not doing this the right way. I need to set aside money for emergencies, because emergencies may come. Actually, emergencies will come, but you want to be prepared when they come. So financial education will help you, like we are already doing. Someone can actually now start thinking, oh, this is the missing link in my life. So that is the role that financial education plays. It just awakens this thing in you, and it awakens that desire to learn more. So it may not do everything at once, but after that you are prompted to want to research more. So what are the investment options? So when we say 20% is too good to be true, what is the normal thing? So that's what education does too.
Wow. So Nyaradzo, are there any innovative technologies or tools available that can help individuals to manage their money effectively and ensure it is enough?
Yes, technologies to help, we do have. There are several apps online you can get in the App Store. You find some apps that you can use to help you with your budgeting. I know another bank in country, they have a proper app that you can do. You can see your finances on one page.
Wow.
So very important that even in an organization, at the end of the month, we want to see reports. How is the company performing? Are there profits? Why wouldn't you want to know the same about yourself? Wow. So at the end of the month, have a time where you sit down with yourself, or with your other half if you have. Sit down, have a look at how your portfolio is performing. How much money is coming, how much is going out. For us to meet our goals, how much more do we want? So for us to meet that, what else can we do? And there are apps out there that can help people to do that. So besides that, I think you as the person, you are the biggest technology we can talk about. It's you telling yourself, I am disciplined enough to sit down at the end of the month and look at the figures.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well said. And I like the analogy of me seeing myself, or a person seeing themselves as a business with a financial track record. Thank you very much, Nyaradzo, for educating us financially this new year. And I think 2024 is set.
Yes.
There you have it.
Thank you.
Financial issues are always an issue because they affect everything about our lives, especially personal finances. And today, we have the privilege of talking about financial goals for the year 2024 as we take off into a new year, make it a prosperous year. From the crew behind the scenes, from our very special guest, Nyaradzo, and from myself, Trinus Dongo, Have a very good evening.